Hey friends, welcome back to boost your metabolism with these simple exercises. Today we will show Johnny Lawrence versus Sensei Wolf fight. A new threat was in the valley. His name was Sensei Wolf. His dojo, Iron Dragon's Karate, was a breeding ground for bullies. Pure, unfiltered aggression. You could feel the tension building for months, a dark cloud hanging over everything. The air crackled with it. A big fight was coming. Everyone knew it. It was inevitable, like thunder after lightning. I'd come a long way from the guy I used to be. Eagle Fang Karate was my new path. I was trying to be a better sensei, a better man even. But old habits, they die hard, don't they? Wolf's constant taunts, his smug attitude, they got under my skin. He reminded me of my younger self, the arrogant kid. Or maybe he was what Kreese always wanted me to become, a machine without a conscience. This wasn't just business. It was personal. Wolf wanted to be the king, the undisputed top dog in the valley. He aimed to crush anyone who stood in his way. The stakes had never felt higher. The arena was a familiar sight, bright, blinding lights, the roar of the crowd. It all came flooding back. Memories of 1984, me and LaRusso, the final match. The pressure felt just as intense now as it did back then, but I wasn't the same kid. I was older, maybe just maybe a little bit wiser. That fire in my belly though, that was still burning strong. It never really goes away, not when you're a fighter, not when you've lived a life like mine. My students were there, Miguel, Robbie, Hawk, all of them. Daniel's students too, Sam, Dimitri. They'd all been through the ringer, more than kids should have to. This fight wasn't just for me, it was for them, a lesson. To show them that you can face your demons head on. You can stand up to the bullies, no matter how big or how tough they seem. Their eyes were fixed on the mat, filled with expectation, filled with hope. I couldn't let them down. Then Wolf made his entrance. He oozed swagger, pure, unadulterated confidence. He walked onto that mat like he owned the place. Or at least he thought he did. His students were just like him, aggressive, cocky. The bell rang. Wolf exploded from his corner. He came out fast, unbelievably fast. All raw aggression. A whirlwind of furious strikes and powerful kicks. He was strong, incredibly powerful, and utterly relentless in his attack. He wanted to end it quickly, to make a brutal statement to everyone watching. I knew I had to weather the initial storm. Block, parry, survive. His first punch landed hard, a solid crack, a definite wake-up call. His fighting style was brutal, incredibly effective in its own way, but it was also predictable. All offense, very little thought to defense. It was like looking at a younger version of myself, the old Cobra Kai way. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. I took some heavy hits in those opening moments, felt the sting, the impact. The crowd gasped a few times. They probably thought I was finished, an old man out of his depth. But they don't know Johnny Lawrence. Not the new one anyway, not really. I tried to counter his onslaught, tried to land a few shots of my own, get some points on the board. But he was like a machine, a Terminator. His eyes were cold, empty, just focused on one thing, destruction. He was fighting with pure, unadulterated rage. It was like looking into a dark, twisted mirror. Wolf was getting angry, visibly, dangerously angry. His technique, once sharp, got sloppy. He started making careless mistakes, leaving himself open for counters. That's what unchecked rage does to a fighter. It blinds you, it clouds your judgment. I knew that feeling all too well. I'd lived with that kind of anger for years. Now, I was using that knowledge, using his anger against him. It was a strange feeling, almost like I was teaching him a lesson. The hard way. I landed a solid combination, a sharp hook to his body, a sweeping kick to his lead leg. He stumbled just for a fraction of a second, but I saw it clearly, a flicker of doubt in his cold eyes. He wasn't invincible after all. Nobody is. That's the first lesson of any real fight. Everyone can be beaten, everyone can fall. As the fight wore on, as he tired, I saw something else in Wolf. Something hidden deep beneath the layers of anger, beneath the arrogant facade. I saw pain. A deep-seated, festering hurt. It reminded me so much of myself. After losing to LaRusso all those years ago, after Kreese, the man I looked up to, betrayed me so cruelly, That kind of profound pain can twist you up inside, make you lash out at the world, make you build impenetrable walls around your heart. We found out more about him later on. Wolf had a tough past, a really brutal upbringing in karate. A sensei who was apparently even worse than Kreese, if you can imagine that. Someone who taught him that only the absolutely ruthless survive in this world. That compassion is a weakness to be exploited. He was a product of that terrible environment, just like I was a product of Kreese's twisted teachings. For a long, long time anyway. It doesn't excuse his actions, not at all, but it does explain them, a little bit. The final round. We were both exhausted, battered and bruised, running on pure adrenaline and fumes, but the will to win, that was still burning fiercely inside both of us, stronger than the pain, stronger than the fatigue. The crowd was on its feet. Every single person in that arena was holding their breath. This was it, the moment of truth, the culmination of everything. Who wanted it more? Who had learned the most from their journey? Who would be left standing? Wolf came at me with everything he had left. A desperate, final flurry of attacks. He was wild. His movements were predictable now. I saw my opening, the one I'd been patiently waiting for, the one I'd been setting up. It was risky. I knew that. I had to time it perfectly. One tiny mistake, one miscalculation, and it could all be over for me. But I trusted my instincts, I trusted my training, I trusted my long and difficult journey to this point. I ducked under a wild, telegraphed hook. He was completely overextended, totally off balance, I countered. A spinning kick, something new I'd been working on. A technique that combined old-school Cobra Kai power with new-school Eagle Fang finesse and balance. It connected, cleanly, solidly. The sound of the impact echoed through the entire arena, a sickening, deafening thud, followed by an almost complete stunned silence from the crowd. For a moment, time stood still. He went down. Winning felt good, damn good, no doubt about it. But it was different this time, not like the victories in the old days. This victory wasn't just about me. It wasn't about settling a personal score. It was about what I represented now. Eagle Fang Karate, my students. The hard-earned idea that you can change your life, that you can find redemption no matter how far you've fallen. That true strength isn't just about being tough or winning fights. It's so much more. True strength. What is it really? It's about resilience. It's about getting knocked down time and time again and finding the will to get back up again and again. It's about learning from your past mistakes, facing your demons, not letting your history define your future. It's about having the courage to be vulnerable sometimes, to show that you care, to open yourself up. That's what I'd learned, the hard way, through years of pain and regret. But I learned it. I walked over to Wolf. He was still on the mat. I offered him my hand, a gesture of sportsmanship, of respect. He didn't take it, not yet anyway. He was still lost in his anger. So what now? What comes next for Johnny Lawrence? The valley was quiet, for the moment at least. Wolf's dojo, Iron Dragon's karate, would probably crumble into dust. Or maybe it would change. Maybe someone else would try to pick up the pieces. But there are always new challenges on the horizon, new threats lurking around the corner. That's just life, isn't it? You win one tough fight and you can bet another one is waiting for you. You can't get complacent, not ever. My main focus now is on my students, on building Eagle Fang Karate into something truly special, and on being a father, a better one than I was before, Carmen and the baby on the way. That's a new kind of fight, a completely different kind of challenge, but it's one I think I'm ready for. I hope I am. I've got good people around me now. Daniel, Amanda, Chosen, that crazy guy. We're a team, a weird, often dysfunctional team, but a team nonetheless. We look out for each other. Will I ever fight in a tournament again? Who knows? I'm not a young kid anymore, that's for sure. But that fire, that competitive spirit, it's still there, burning inside me. If someone threatens my family, my students, or my dojo, well, I'll be ready to step up. You can count on that. But I honestly hope it doesn't come to that. I hope we can find ways to solve things a different way, a smarter way. Most of the time anyway. Old habits are hard to break completely. This whole journey,